Well, we're in the Buchanan Fellows Gallery hearing about the Summer 2018 Fellows exhibition from our Buchanan Fellows. Could you state your name and class and tell us a little bit about what you worked on in your case?
My name is Leah Koffler. I'm an August 2018 graduate with degrees in political science and women's and gender studies, and I'm a 2018 Summer Buchanan Fellow working on the exhibit From Listeners to Leaders, A History of Women at Vanderbilt. So my case specifically is regulating women, and the objects in the case range from the 1940s through the 1970s and show different rules and regulations that women had on campus that were different from male students. And I found it to be very interesting to read the guidebooks and read the sorts of things they had rules for in terms of dress and appearance and leaving campus, and to see the power that parents and administration had over female students not so long ago.
Was there a specific part of the curatorial process that you learned from?
This was my first time curating, and it was definitely difficult to choose the objects because once you start looking through special collections, there's so much great material. And it was also difficult for the fellows to decide which object belonged in which case because everything connects. So it was a little difficult to do that. And then my case are all from books or forms, and they're very interesting to read, but it's less visually appealing. So thinking about that was new for me as well.
Was there a surprising fact that you learned during your research?
Yes, I learned that the number of dates per week women could go on depended on their grade point average.
When was this?
Which one was this? It was in the 40s and 50s.
And could you say a little bit more about what you learned about working in the library and in special collections?
It was really interesting to work with different mediums to help put together the website and also the case, and see what works well in those different mediums, and to see how we could draw attention to an exhibit in this sort of hallway and think of the questions that would be most interactive with visitors.
Do you have a favorite object that you encountered during the process?
I think an object that really surprised me is the report that resident assistants filled out about their female students, and it scored them on things like poise and hygiene, and it just set a different set of standards than we have today, and was very direct rather than just making sure that their students are doing well and succeeding academically and socially. To learn more about rules Vanderbilt had for women in the not so far past, come visit the Buchanan Fellows exhibit From Listeners to Leaders, A History of Women at Vanderbilt. It's opening on August 28th and will run through Thanksgiving.